We now turn our attention to golf, PGA Tour, the Wyndham Championship 2017. Just following the US PGA Championship, what a great tournament that was, came to life on the back nine. It was a duel. Hideki Matsuyama was in there. He looked very dangerous. I actually thought he was the most likely person to win, having looked at the leaderboard after the third round. But when he was up there, he was leading, but finally Justin Thomas came to the fore. Kistner sort of faded. Louis Oosthuizen came on, Molinari came on, but eventually Thomas did enough and delivered a victory for us on this channel, delivered a victory for himself, maiden tour victory. Powerful hitting. I think he ended up being up there on the driving distance stats at the end. He was really booming them. He was probably the first on there. He was smashing the ball. He just ground it out, really. Holds some amazing putts, particularly that one. I think it was on the 10th hole where it just sat on the edge. He turned his back thinking it wasn't going to drop, and then, a few seconds later it went in. And when you see those sort of things go in for you, you think, it's probably your week. So congratulations to him. But this week, the Wyndham Championship, not the full-blooded stellar fields we're used to, particularly after USPGA. Sedgefield Country Club, par 70. Stenson leads the market. I think he's around 14 to 1, followed by Kistner 14 to 1. I'll look past both of those, just looking for value. Don't think there's with the field, obviously they've adjusted the odds, bearing in mind the field. They're two of the best players, so they think that they, have a chance. But 14, no, we're going to look for a bit more value. If we look further down, you've got Webb Simpson. The first one we'll take is Duffner. We seem to be backing him a lot. He's 25 to 1 this week. USPGA champion, won for us this year. I did see him in the Open. He was horrible, but in the Open he was really bad. He just looked like he didn't want to be there. I think I saw him on the second round. But no, he's a good player. Keeps it in play usually. He's very reliable. He's very experienced. So Jason Duffner. Looking down the list, Duffner. Bill Haas is there, around 20 to 1. I think it's a bit short, so he's a good player. He keeps it in play, but I'll look past Haas. I'm going to take Hun An. Wary of the pronunciation. I heard it on in the USPGA Championship. I think they pronounce it Bing Hun An, but whatever the pronunciation, we're going to take him 33 to 1 each way. This week you can get 7 places, a fifth of the odds with Betfair Sportsbook, so that's where my prices are coming from. We'll take Shane Lowry 55 to 1. Obviously there's a rush towards the FedEx Cup now and getting points. He's someone who'll want to rack up a few more points, bearing in mind his position. We'll take Kevin Tway 60 to 1. I'm going to stick with him. I've backed him a few times and I've got nowhere, but he seems to have a consistent results base. He seems to generally make cuts and generally perform consistently well, and I like players like that. So we're going to go with Kevin Tway. Hopefully some of his father's magic will rub off on him, Bob Tway. We'll take James Hahn 35 to 1. Saw him swinging the club very nice last week at the USPGA. I think he's a very talented player. Field like this, he could be dangerous, so we'll take Hahn. Keegan Bradley 45 to 1. When you see him at these sort of prices in these sorts of fields, you have to take notice. He does have quality. If he gets his game together, keeps it in play, keeps it tidy, he's got chances. We'll take Russell Knox 50 to 1. Recently saw him playing very well, striking the ball very nicely. Very talented player, very underrated player. We'll take Knox. We'll take Billy Horseshoe. He's won for us this year already. I did back him the other day. I think it was at the WGC, and he was pretty terrible. But we're just going to put that down as a bad week. And we know what he's capable of. He's delivered a 100 to 1 winner for us on this channel, and he's actually a very, very good player. If he gets his head right, does well, he's got a chance. I'm going to throw in Chez Reavie at 40 to 1. Another tidy player. He's been generally doing very well, generally consistent. I have noticed that before. Haven't got on board with him, but in a field like this, without a lot of stellar names there, he could come to the fore. 40 to 1. Chez Reavie. Just noticed, just looking down the bigger numbers, I did notice there was Anirban Lahiri out at 100 to 1. He's a streaky player. Sometimes he's had 2 or 3 top 10s this year, I think. And then other times he'll just miss the cut the next week. It's up and down. I think at 100 to 1 in a field like this, I'll take a gamble on him. So Anirban Lahiri, the Indian. Also, Camilo Villegas I'll take. He usually plays well on these sort of courses, these sorts of grasses. He's a very talented player. Again, streaky. He's capable of a lot. I think he's one to watch. When he's at 150 to 1 in a field like this, I think it's worth taking note. I looked down the list of the big numbers. JJ Spawn was there at 200 to 1. He's up and down. He's had some good results again, some very good results, top fives I think this year, 2 or 3. But then misses a lot of cuts in a row, so I'll look past him. But I did notice that 200 to 1. So let's look at who we are taking. We're taking Jason Duffner, 25 to 1. Bing Hun An, 33 to 1. Shane Lowry, 55 to 1. Kevin Tway, 60 to 1. James Hahn, 35 to 1. Keegan Bradley, 45 to 1. Camilo Villegas, 150 to 1. Russell Knox, 50 to 1. Billy Horschel, 45 to 1. And Chez Reavie, 40 to 1. It'll be interesting. Past 70 course. A lot of people, playing for cards, playing for FedEx points. It'll be interesting. Will Henrik Stenson wake up and just look at this field and say, you know what, I've got this. I'm a major champion. I want to rise up the FedEx points rankings. Let me just take this in hand. I don't know. I mean, Chris Stroud is there, did well in the PGA. He's in this field at about 40 to 1. Look past him. I mean, he did very well in that tournament. I'm not sure. Sometimes you just look at... He's a player that I've looked at. I've seen his swing and everything. I don't really take to him. He's very capable, but he's not one that, I'd look to back. So I'm going to look past that. Is Kistner going to... he was so close and just sort of, I don't want to say lost his bottle, but he kind of, towards the end in the final round, as understandable it is, under pressure, it started to fall apart. He would have, he was leading for 3.5 rounds, wasn't he? For 3.25 rounds. But, is he going to wake up? Usually, in my opinion, after a player has come to the fore, one of the players that isn't one of the elite players, there's usually a come down the next week. He was under a lot of pressure. There's a little bit of disappointment that they didn't win. So the Strouds, the Kistner, maybe I don't expect them to do that well this week. Having said that, they'll probably come to the fore now. But I've given my selections. I've given my opinions. Please give yours. Please outline any players you think you have a chance and why. Like and subscribe if you wish. And see you next time.